What's up, guys? Kevin here. Jimbo Ryan. The guy I just don't picture playing a PlayStation 5, owning a PlayStation 5. He just wakes up, goes to Sony, does business, comes home, watches a Bond movie, drinks a scotch, yells at his wife, "Bah, Ma, give me some pancakes and some blueberry waffles. Now." Rah. It's my impression of Jim Ryan. I'll work on it. But he talked to, nope, not influencers. God forbid Sony talks to, fans and influencers who would help spread the word of their product. Even though we're doing it anyways, we're going to find these obscure articles and interviews and throw it out there. I know I'm a few days late here, but he talked to a Chinese tech publication, TMT Post. Ooh, we got away from the wire. It's always a wire. Like, I don't get it. Maybe they're scared of talking to actual Sony guys and getting a little pushback. Whatever. But you made some comments. That's made some news. I'm reporting on it. It's a few days late. Be interesting to see how many views this gets. But let's start off with this great games comment. So he said, "It is better to wait and have a great game than to rush and have a game that is okay or quite good. Players only remember the best games rather than okay games. If it is a best game, players may want a sequel, and they will also want to buy a sequel. But no one really cares about a game that is only okay. Of course, due to financial and product portfolio considerations, we will also give pressure to studios to deliver a certain product within the expected time. But in general, we don't want products that are okay. We want the best." So, interesting comment. Again, he's putting his foot in his mouth. I appreciate this. I'd much rather have someone speak his mind than to be super PR centric. Because, he's tending to give comments like this. And, of course, he's very narrow-sighted, very ignorant. People don't just remember the great games. We remember games that we like. We all like games that are probably okay. Probably the worst game I probably like is Bruce Lee, Quest of the Dragon, or something like that on Xbox. Brute Force, I remember. Tales of Berseria, though, that probably leans on great. But there's a lot of games. I'm playing Danganronpa V3. I mean, all these games we like. I mean, No Man's Sky, we remember it, but we don't remember for being great. I hear it's pretty good now, but yeah. You should just come out and say, hey, we want to focus on making very great games because they sell systems, they garner a wider audience. I'm trying to say too many words at once. And it's good for the brand. That's what he should say. He's got to put someone down. He's always putting something down. That's when he puts his foot in his mouth. But also something interesting with this quote here is they do pressure studios to put out games. Like, hey, get this game out now. Which I feel like PlayStation does a very good job of allowing the delays and get it done. But again, I think Sony's management is just that much better. I think that's why they always have games releasing. I think Phil Spencer says he visits like the studios once a month. They give him a controller, he tries it out, and go, okay, cool. Just let me know when it's ready to release, and we'll work on something. I think they're doing a better job there. It seems like, especially when you got all these studios, it's like you got to start cracking the whip. I mean, Rare and Everwild, there's no reason for this game to like just now, we're going to figure out what the combat and gameplay is like. Like, what the hell? But yeah, so, I mean, Sony is going to crack the whip. They want you to, or they want the studios to, hey, put out a damn game. Don't keep our fans waiting. And they got to. And from what I understand, if I'm making a video game, I want to make the best video game. The best video game. And if I have some big corporation just shoveling money to me to make the best game, yeah, I'm going to probably hold off on releasing it until I make the best game that I can. So I feel like Sony is probably in constant contact with the studios, like, hey, what's going on? They probably lay out a plan. All right, this is where we're at now. Where are we a week from now? Where are we 1 month, 3 months, a year from now? When can we expect to deliver this game? And let's hold you to it. Yeah. It's like me with my one-on-one reviews. It's like, all right, this is your stats now. This is what you need to work on. So this time, the next time we meet, we want this number to be this, and then we'll go from there. I think that's what it is at every job at Microsoft. They're like, oh, you're making a game, Bethesda, well, have fun. We'll give you money. We'll see you in 2028. So I can appreciate that. The OK games is just Jim Ryan putting his foot in his mouth. Whatever. We get what he's saying. But he also said something here about the next God of War and Forbidden West. So speaking of those releases, he says Forbidden West and God of War will arrive in the next year or so. While things may change, that would seem to indicate Sony is aiming to get God of War out in the first half or perhaps summer of 2022, which I don't know. That don't make sense. The next year or so, like Forbidden West, we assume, like I'm assuming it's not coming out this year because I don't think pre-orders are live. Sony is not going to put out, start pre-orders and put out a game in the next month or two. Like it would be in the next couple weeks they would have to announce Forbidden West. If it's going to arrive, it would have to arrive before Good Friday or Black Friday, excuse me. Which would give it like a couple months. And Sony wants to see the pre-order numbers and all that. So I expect probably in early 2022, and their hopes is God of War comes out sometime next year. I'm pretty sure they're aiming for the summer, but year or so, that so doesn't mean 2022, it means 2023, which, I'm fine with that. God of War was one of the best games last generation. So take your time, make a really great game. There's going to be other games that hold us over. But, this is where I got to call Sony out. Because when they announced God of War, they put 2021, and they knew what they were doing. They were just like, yo, we are stacked the first year. They made it like the launch window. It's like, oh, you're going to get Ratchet and Clank. You're going to get Returnal. You're going to get Kena Bridge of Spirits. You're going to get Oddworld. You're going to get Demon Souls. You're going to get Miles Morales. You're going to get Forbidden West. You're going to get all these games in the next year. So, yeah. That's what I would do. That's what Xbox should have done. They should have just like, oh, within the next year, you're going to get Halo. You're going to get Fable. You're going to get Perfect Dark. You're going to get Gear 6. You're going to get Forza Horizon 5. You're going to get Forza 8. You're going to get Outer Worlds 2. You're going to get Hellblade 2. And then go, oh, yeah, we're delaying all that. But, yeah, just scummy, just lying. Jim Ryan, just always be lying. And I don't like it. I don't think people like it. People don't appreciate it. Everyone called him out. Like, hey, that game ain't coming out in 2021. You just put that game out in 2018. If that game's coming out in 2021, it's going to just be glorified DLC. It's going to be an expansion that you're going to call a video game. Which, this makes me happy that it sounds like it's coming out later, meaning we're going to get a full game, and not just some reskin of God of War 2018. But, yeah, don't expect God of War. I don't even expect it 2022. That so just tells me, 2023. At this point, probably like summer or something, 2023. Which, then, it's like, all right, we know we got Forbidden West coming out. They do have Deathloop. And then they got Tokyo Xanadu, or whatever it's called. I don't forgot. That Tango Works game. Deathloop Tokyo. I don't know. That game's coming out, early next year? I think this is what's going to happen. Forbidden West, probably next year. I'm actually thinking that's going to be a summer game because they're going to make sure they really polish that. What I think they're doing is I think they probably, if it was just releasing for the PS4, I think they could probably get it out this year. But I think they're really taking their time with the PlayStation 5 version because the numbers are out. These games are mainly selling on PlayStation 5. I think, was it like Biomutant or Dungeons and Dragons? That game mainly sold on PlayStation 5, not PlayStation 4, which is kind of shocking for me. So there's like 116 million PlayStation 4s out there. Even though I always said, like, yeah, just because everyone bought like 5 of them. There's probably like 10 million active PS4 users, I bet. That's probably low, probably like 20. But yeah, so I'm thinking that Ghostwire Tokyo is probably going to come out early next year. Then they'll have Forbidden West probably come out in the spring, probably summer. And then I think God of War Ragnarok 2023 at the earliest, like early 2023, excuse me. I think that's it. Now, they still got Final Fantasy 16. They still got Gran Turismo 7. They probably have another game or two forgetting about. That Last of Us remake, who knows if that's going to be ready. They still have a bunch of director's cut. They can do Uncharted director's cut. They can do Bloodborne. So, yeah, they're pretty set. Say what you want about those director's cut, but they're there for a reason, and you see why. Xbox announced that they're going to, be releasing a game, every quarter or every few months, which you can do with all those studios. Sony's like, all right, we're just going to take our time with these games. Of course, it's going to be a little spread apart, and we'll just rely on these director's cut. Even though they got, one in August and one in September. So, anyways, there you have it. I don't think anything more from this. Just, main takeaway is Jim Ryan putting his foot in his mouth about great games and just shitting on okay games. Forbidden West is probably not coming out until next year, and then God of War, Ragnarok, whatever they're going to call it, probably 2023. Tell me what you think. Thing is, it seems like it's so far away. I'm like, as I get older, time just moves so quick. Just so quick. I was thinking about, I remembered coming home and watching PSX, the PlayStation event that they held, thinking it was oh yeah, that was last year or so. I'm like, oh, that was 2016, which was 5 years ago. And I pictured it yesterday. So it just shows how quick time moves. So, good thing is when you get older, when they announce games coming out in 2028 will be here tomorrow. If you're a kid, if you're 10, the thing is 0 to 10 feels like forever. But then as time goes on, you're just oh, the more years I experience, the faster they go. Kind of sad. I'm at the age where I'm if I'm lucky, I can live my lifetime, the time I lived, 2 more times. But even if I did, I'll probably feel like half of what I lived has gone by until I reach that age, which would be well over 100 actually. But all right, I'm rambling now. Let me know what you think. When do you think these games will release? And I'll talk to you later.